Hi there, this is David, and I've got to ask, are you looking for a game that's old school in its style, combat, exploration, and charm, but like new school in its quality of life features? A game that's been inspired by Final Fantasy, Lufia 2, and even Chrono Trigger? What about one that presents a gripping story along with lovable characters set in a truly living, breathing world? If you answered yes to all those questions, I definitely have the game for you, and it is beloved Rapture, released for the PC on Steam as well as GOG. And in today's sponsored video, I do want to tell you all about it, and I do think that that's worth a sub as I try my hardest to hit 100,000 subscribers. And with your help, your like, and your sub, I just know that I can get there. So, thank you so much for that, and now, let me start going over beloved Rapture, because this is one indie game that is definitely worth your time. You may have heard of this game because I first reviewed it back in February of last year, whenever I played the roughly hour-long demo that was available. And I also gave it quite a few criticisms too, so I was really looking forward to seeing how the final game had evolved in the almost 2 years since I had last played it. The art style that you see here is not something that you see every day, because in order to really capture that SNES flair and aesthetic, the developers built it in RPG Maker 2003, which is quite an endeavor in and of itself. And not only that, the team has been working tirelessly since its launch to continually update and polish it even further. Not that it really needs too much polish, because personally, this has become quite the gem. And I'll just get this out of the way, because if you're an old school gamer like me, then honestly, drop everything and just get this game, because you will not be disappointed. But even if you're more of like a new school gamer, this has everything that you want in a fun-filled, bite-sized adventure. From challenging strategic turn-based combat with all sorts of different spells, characters, and abilities, to puzzle solving, beautiful gorgeous graphics and scenery, a bopping soundtrack, tons of treasures and secret caves strewn about, and a storyline that will have you on the edge of your seat from the beginning to the end. Right from the get-go, you can choose between classic or story difficulty modes, as well as active or wait modes for turn-based combat, though the wait mode is in beta right now, so I would personally suggest opting for active, but I digress. Let's talk about the story and what this is all about. This here is a coming-of-age story of Johann, who had just turned 18 and he's set to leave his small mountain village to go down to the big kingdom of Alexandria, and then just kind of like get like a normal, mundane job and start a family. Only his best friend Zach really doesn't want him to go. He would rather buck tradition and leave town with him together, so that they can go off on their own adventures. So before Johann sets off to live like a quiet life in the kingdom, Zach gives him a magical sword, then takes him into a mysterious cave full of dragons, puzzles, and sapphire trees. This here opens Johann's eyes to the world at large, and he decides to leave town along with Zach after all. But this isn't your typical best friends go on a journey together and get into random hijinks RPG, as the shit hits the fan when Johann's crazy estranged father comes back on into town, ransacks the village, and murders everyone in his wake. Zach goes missing, and Johann is left in a blind rage, distraught and in shock by everything that happened, while the game itself then shifts on over to tell another tale. If you can't figure it out by now, the game utilizes a chapter and scenario system, kind of like the Wild Arms series, where you'll be relinquishing control between various party members and groups until they all eventually meet up in the end. I personally adore this form of storytelling, as it really allows you to see everybody's motivations and their backgrounds, and it really lets you learn from the ground up why a particular character joins your cause, what happened to them in order to make them journey with you. Each character has their own distinctive story to tell, as well as their own mysteries to solve, and it really is such a joy to learn more about them as you traverse the world. The exploration here is open region, and it almost reminds me of like Mother 3 in a way, and here's what I mean by that. You know how in Mother 3 it was kind of like divided up into various chapters, and you can only explore certain areas in each chapter until you then got closer to the end where the whole world opened up? It's kind of the same way here. As each chapter you set off to explore a particular region, you're given your goal with some brief instructions on how to achieve it, so then you set off to explore the new region while using your wits, the maps, a few signposts, and of course NPCs to help guide you along to your destination. The areas are large and fun to explore without feeling too overwhelming, and there's just so much to see and do in each region. All the screens here are just jam-packed with treasures, little puzzles to solve, hidden caves to spelunk down into, fishing spots, sparklies, treasures to even find underwater, and keys to unlock doors. This isn't some rote, go from point A to point B boring map hallway simulator that we normally see in today's RPGs. This here is truly a living, breathing, fully interconnected world. And while you're looking around and doing your exploration and everything, those Lufia 2 puzzles will pop on up as you need to find switches to make bridges or ladders appear and disappear, ponds and lakes to swim across, cliffs to jump off of, ice to slide around on, and boulders to push. But while you're solving puzzles, you'll also be having on-screen encounters with all the different monsters inhabiting the lands. Battles take place in a turn-based format, and it is simplistic while at the same time definitely doing its own thing. There really is something to be said for not having to reinvent the wheel every single time that you pick up a new game. It's nice to just kind of come back to something tried, true, and familiar. You have your basic attack, defend, magic, and item, but every single time that you perform an action, you also build up your Relica gauge. Attack 3 different times, and you can use your super powerful Relica skill. Defending not only reduces damage, but it also restores HP, kind of like in Legend of Dragoon. And magic does exactly what you think it does, healing your party members, buffing and debuffing, and dealing elemental damage. And I do remember back when, about 2 or so years ago, saying how useless magic was in the original demo that I played, but I am happy to now say that the developers took my constructive criticism in stride, and they've definitely made magic tons more useful. Not only is it pretty powerful, but it can also inflict a secondary status ailment. Like, whenever you use the ice spell, it can also freeze an enemy for a turn, and using the fire spell can inflict the burn status. But because your Relica attacks are always your most powerful attacks, and they do cost MP to use, it is kind of like a balancing act between having to use your magical spells, your regular attacks, and your Relica attacks. But you also restore 10% of your MP each round, and you do get a full heal after each battle, which is so nice. Not only that, once you do defeat an enemy on screen, they won't reappear ever. Holla frickin' Luya. That makes backtracking so painless. After each battle, you'll get experience and gold, and whenever you do level up, you'll get a chance to allocate your skill points into your various stats, ensuring that every character and each playthrough is completely different. While in towns or the little villages scattered throughout the realm, you'll run into NPCs who might initiate a side quest, and you'll know this because of like a little dialogue bubble above their head. And thankfully, side quests are kept track of for you in the menu and also on the map via the yellow indicator pointers. In fact, just about everything is kept track for you in the menu. Your main quests, your side quests, what items do, equipment, everything and anything you could possibly want can be found there. And while you will be purchasing various armors and accessories with your gold, the weapons use like a Suikoden style upgrade system, where everyone keeps their initial weapon, but you just have to upgrade it with a bit of gold and some rare ore, most of which can only be found by completing those side quests or finding the ore in treasure chests, really encouraging thorough exploration. All told, I had an absolute blast with my time with Beloved Rapture. And another really nice thing is that this game does not overstay its welcome. You can complete it in roughly 25 or 30 or so hours. And in a world where we are just bombarded with like 100-hour JRPGs week after week after week, it is so nice to have a little palate cleanser like this to play between those bigger AAA releases. And not only that, right now you can purchase the game and its soundtrack for 15% off up until December the 4th. Just please use the links below in order to wishlist it or purchase it today, and it also makes a great holiday gift. So that's it for my review of Beloved Rapture. And now, I've got to ask you, did you enjoy the game? Have you played it? And what did you think about it? Let me know in the comments, and let's all talk and chat about it. And if you do like this video, here's another video that I really do think that you're thoroughly going to enjoy, so please do be sure to check that one out. And as always, please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a good day.